Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're watching me from. This is Sam Ongoro. Kindly subscribe, share, and like my YouTube channel. My YouTube name is Sam Ongoro. Kindly subscribe. Now, today I want to bring about challenges facing families nowadays. Challenges facing families nowadays. Family challenges are divided into two categories, namely external and internal. Family challenges are divided into two categories. One, internal challenges and external challenges. External problems are those coming from outside the family, and it affects all members of the same family equally. External problems, challenges, are those coming from outside the family and affects all members of the same family equally. While internal challenges comes from within the family and it affects different members in different ways in the same family. Internal problems comes from within the family and affects members of the same family differently. Now, what are these problems? What are these challenges that families are facing? I've told you we have two challenges that are facing families nowadays, external and internal. Now, what are these problems? Let's say one, poverty. Poverty is a major thing nowadays affecting a lot of families. They can't get in, they can't get 3 meals a day. They cannot send their children to good schools or to any educational institution. They can't afford it. They can't even afford to buy a uniform or even textbooks and exercise books. Poverty has made people not even live in a well environment. That's called poverty. And honestly, poverty is really affecting a lot of families nowadays, left, right, center. And guess what? They are the majority. The people that are affected by poverty, they are a majority in our country, in our society. Those who have it, they are few. You can number them. Now, number two, violence. Violence with this hardship economy that is going on nowadays, violence is on a higher level. Guess what? People are not able to meet their ends. People are not even able to meet their basic needs. That ends up people getting frustrated, people losing hope, and they end up being violent. So violence among families is on a higher rise. It's on a higher end nowadays. All I can ask you, my brothers and sisters, this is just but a season. We shall enjoy it together. We shall go through it. Season don't stay forever. They just come for a while and then it disappeared. We will make it together. Discrimination, challenges facing the family. Discrimination is on a higher alert. You find out that you well schooled, but you have no connections. You don't know anyone in these higher end companies or in the government who can help you secure a job. So you can apply as much as you can with flying colors in school that you passed. But guess what? Discrimination is on a higher alert. That's what's affecting families nowadays. Number four, I'm sorry, unemployment. There's a lot of people who are jobless. That leads to hopelessness. People have lost hope. And it's very hard for anyone to govern people who have lost hope. It's very tough. So unemployment, it's all over. People are willing to work, but there's no work. And you tell me, oh no, you don't need to be employed to work. You can start doing something. Yes, I know, and I have lived that. Some of you will tell me, why can't that person go around Mujengos or go to even Mujengo? There's discrimination there. Where is that Mujengo that you're telling me? I've gone to places where there are construction going on. I have seen a lot of youth sit outside, men and women, waiting to be taken in. There's no Mujengo that can accommodate all unemployment people around the country. Why can't they do something? Can they go home and do something? Look at the climate outside. Look, scarcity of land from where you're coming from whichever way you look at it. Unemployment is at the higher rates. You can name it. You can see how many hopelessness people you see, young youths who are willing to work out there, both men and women. Lack of access to health care. There's a lot of people who die in their homes because they have no access to good medical care. They can't afford. People suffering with different illnesses in their homes. They cannot access a healthy care facility that can treat them according to their level of poverty. It's a pity. So, lack of access to healthy care is one challenge that's affecting a lot of families. Abuse is on a higher rate. Can it be substance abuse or drugs abuse? You know, people have lost hope and they have resulted into drugs, drinking liquor, cheap liquor, illicit liquor. People have really lost hope. And as a result of that, they cannot meet their family ends. They have entered into this drinking or substance abuse. I met a guy recently who told me he hates going home. Said, why? I can't afford to go home, see my children crying all over. There's no food. See my wife here looking at me sparingly, like you've not brought anything home. So what the guy told me, he can't face his family while he's sober. So he has resulted in drug abuse, drinking too much, so that when he goes home, he's drunk, he's not himself to face his family. May God help us. Addiction. We have a lot of addicts in our families. You know, taking these drugs and drinking starts like a joke. But when it really hits, it's when it's an addiction. Now, people tell me I drink occasionally, I take drugs occasionally. No, that's how it starts. Then it ends up being an addiction and becomes a problem to the family. Communication. People are not communicating clearly how they feel, what they want, or what they want to do. In families, communication is an issue. People are afraid of one another. They don't trust one another. So communication becomes an issue in many families. You can call up someone and say, hey, I'm going through this problem. Can you help me? Because people are afraid that whoever you tell your problem, you know, a long time ago, it was when you tell someone your problem, is halfway solved. But nowadays, when you tell someone about your problem, it's the beginning of your problem, mockery, and people making you a laughing stone. So people have decided to keep silent and keep it in themselves, and that's killing a lot of families. That's why most people are not communicating to one another, be it a brother, sister, friend, pastor, or anybody. So communication is a big issue in families nowadays. Divorce. is on a rise. People are divorcing day in, day out. Every hour, people are divorcing. I'm not talking about those who have resulted, because there are many people who have resulted to living in separate rooms just because of the stigma of the society. I live in a separate room and my wife lives in a separate room. But we agree, no, don't bring a man here. I don't bring a woman here, but you can have people out there. There's some kind of family settings that are so funny and weird, away from the biblical teaching. These are some of the things. Divorce. But other than that, a lot of divorce is going on. And then it makes me wonder why the divorce rate is so high nowadays. Because tolerance is gone down from families. Families nowadays don't tolerate one another. And when you see you cannot tolerate one another as a family, that tells you that love has evaporated. There's no love. The only thing that can unite and put people together through thin and thick is love. And then when that ingredient of love is not there anymore, then you don't exercise patience. One small thing, it ignites another big thing, then boom, divorce. And divorce affects a lot of children. Believe me, you ladies and gentlemen, whenever there is a divorce, don't expect your children to be the same. Even their performance in school will reduce, will go down. Believe me. Even their grades in school will go down. Even their mental thinking capacity will be lower. I'm not saying that you should stick together, because there are those who stick with their partners just for the sake of the children. Yet they throw insults in front of their children. They do all kind of bad things before their children, breaking things, fights. That also does not do justice to your children. Is better off you divorce. So divorce is on a higher rate. Another thing that is called mental illness. I swear nowadays there's a lot of mental cases going around. Some of the mental cases are not even addressed due to lack of access to healthy care. A lot of people are going through a lot. A lot of people are having this mental illness, but most of it goes undetected. Honestly, mental illness is affecting a lot of families, especially these difficult economy times. Mental illness is on a higher rate. Another thing, parenting. Parents are having problems raising children because of they don't know how to parent. They're confused on how to balance their work schedule, their family life, in the leisure time, how to spend time with their children. And that has started as hiring maids. They call them house managers to take care of our children. Some of us leave in the morning, very early in the morning before our children wake up. And we come back at night when our children are in bed. So parenting is a big issue challenge here, affecting a lot of families. A lot of parenting is a big issue. A lot of families are faced with pornographic issues. There's a lot of people in families, either children or parents, who are watching pornography. They don't know what is right, what's wrong, they're just watching pornography. And when it started like a choke, and when it becomes an addiction, then you need medical help. You need medical professionals to help you. Pornography is on a high rise. People are watching that thing day and night. Sex attraction, same sex attraction, something that is affecting a lot of families. Same-sex attraction. You find a lady attracted to a lady, a man attracted to a man. That thing is confusing and challenging a lot of families. That can be cured by the seek of God. The fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. Online, social media is a big issue that's affecting families. Our children can't get off online. Even us as parents, we are online 24/7. And hence that will make us forget that we have families who needs us more than anyone else. Online, nowadays, anything you need is online. You don't know where to draw the line. Most parents don't know where and how to draw the line. You don't know how to draw the line. To say, well, let me have discipline. Let me do this and this and this. And again, we cannot control online or social media. What goes to our children? Our children nowadays, they are intelligent. It's called a digital era. They can Google anything they want. And guess what? Parents before children before us do the right thing. But when we step away from them, what they do is not in your control. You don't know. You can go check history on their phone or their computer to see where they go, which side safest. But our kids are so smart nowadays. They delete the history. So you can never catch them. Social media is a challenge that is affecting each and every parent, and it's also affecting even parents themselves. They are addicted to social media. I've talked to people who say that I can't go a day without data bundles. I can't stay without Wi-Fi. Then you ask them, are you a business person? No, I need to know what's going on around the world. In that process of knowing what's happening on the world, then you bring in a lot of, it opens you up to a lot of things, exposes you to a lot of things to see even the one that you were never intended to see. And that's what is happening to our children. All I can tell you is that as a family, we are going through a lot. We have to fight together. This is just but a season. There's no season that is permanent. It comes and it goes. For this surely shall come to pass, but we need to be united and fight as one. If any of your family member is affected in one or the other, may God help you. May God guide you. May you go on your knees and ask God. Our God is not a selective God. He's a generous God, and He loves us all equally. So seek He first. You know, all these things that are mentioned when we have the fear of God, God will give us wisdom. I've seen a lot of couples nowadays killing one another. Is really killing an option? To me, personally, I don't think so. Yes, you have done ABCD to me. I thank God you did it when you were in love or in good faith, and let it remain as that. Killing someone's daughter or someone's son is not an option that anybody should think about. Let God, they say vengeance to revenge is for weak people. Let's leave revenge to God. And there's no painful revenge you can leave to someone than leaving the person to God. There's a lot of violence going on around. The rate at which people are killing each other, kids killing parents, parents killing children. So a guy recently killed his son because he wanted to sell a piece of land without his permission. I've seen kids killing their parents because they cannot allow them to do as they please. But all this is because of these difficult times, economic times that we are going through. Nobody is tolerating one another. People have run out of patience. But I can tell you, the same God who created you, the same God who breathed life into you, the same God who knew you were to be into existence before you were formed in your mother's womb. The same God who loves us unconditionally, who sent his only begotten Son to die on a cross so that we can be saved, is the same God seated on his throne. Never despair. Giving up is another choice. Honestly. And somebody told me, winners never give up. And if you give up, you can't win. So guess what? Let's soldier on. Sometimes God shakes us up to test our patience, to test our faith. Let's keep our faith higher and look up to the sky. That's where help comes from. May God bless you for watching my video. My YouTube name is Simon Goro. It was nice subscribing to my YouTube channel. See you in my next video. Till then, bye-bye.